Previously on Big Brother, a brand new season of the game began. As players joined the game, new alliances began to form. Among them, the Anti-Ann Alliance, known as the AAA, with Josh, Seb, Simon, Ariel, Bill, and Rita. On the other side, Nerdland, Zach, Spencer, and Ann. With Ariel in the middle, it was anyone's guess as to what would happen next. I know you're all dying to find out what happens, so let's get into it. Round 5 started with a never-before-seen twist, that being house nominations. The twist made it so that there was no HOH that round, and instead all the players would fill out forms voting for 2 people to be nominated, and the top 2 vote-getters would be the nominees. Following some miscommunication between the AAA, the 2 nominees became Zach and Spencer, with Zach having the votes of Simon, Rita, Josh, Bill, and Ariel, who, despite voting to keep Zach the round prior, decided to nominate him and trying to maintain good relationships with the majority. Similarly, Spencer had the votes of Rita, Josh, Seb, and Ariel, with Bill, Simon, and Seb nominating Ann instead, and Spencer, Zach, and Ann all nominating Simon because obvious reasons. At the Power of Veto competition, Zach once again managed to win the Power of Veto, saving himself and choosing which of the players that received 3 nominations, those of course being Simon and Ann, would be the replacement nominee. After considering his options for maybe 3 seconds, Zach continued the tradition of him and Simon nominating each other by doing just that. Come the vote, the AAA held strong, listening to Simon's pleas and kept one of their leaders safe, all voting to evict Spencer in a close 4-3 vote, while Zach, Ann, and Ariel were the votes to evict Simon. When the results were announced, the AAA celebrated, while Zach and Ann reacted with shock, Ann being blindsided for the first time in 2 seasons. After updating her chart, Ann figured the only people she could trust were Rita, Seb, and Zach. Zach, on the other hand, reacted by preparing to plunge a metaphorical knife into Ann's back, much like he believed Ann did to Spencer. With Spencer as the first member of jury, everyone knew it's time to step up their game. So, at an HOH challenge that went pretty long because of me being bad at making challenges, Bill won, putting himself in the spotlight for the first time all season. And after making a deal with Ariel to let him pick one of the 2 nominees, Bill made the decision to add Ariel to the Anti-Ann Alliance. Following this, Ariel and Bill decided that the 2 nominees would be Ann and Zach, whom, if I had to guess, would have been Bill's nominees regardless of the deal. Bill then successfully convinced Ann that she was purely a pawn and his target was Zach, which also served as a good way to pacify Ann in the event that she stayed, with her thinking that the Cool Kids Club was still a thing. At the veto competition, Zach once again won the challenge, choosing to save himself without a second thought. With Ann on the block and Zach now safe, Bill had to choose a replacement nominee from his alliance. He simply picked Seb, the most inactive member of the Anti-Ann Alliance. In addition, this was sort of at the suggestion of Ann, further reinforcing the idea to her that she was simply a pawn. Unfortunately for Ann, despite her desperate pleas and stupid amount of alliances, her overplaying finally did her in, as she became the second member of jury, with only Ariel voting to keep her. Now that we're at the final 7 with the most chaotic person in the game out, the AAA had the numbers, and they had only one mission. Don't let Zach win any comps. So, at the HOH challenge, Zach put up a hell of a good fight during BizBuzz, but Simon edged him out, winning his 3rd challenge of the season. Now, as I mentioned before, the AAA had 6 out of the 7 remaining people as members, so he needed to pick someone from his alliance to be put up as a pawn, choosing the newest member of his group, that being Ariel, to take the position. At the Power of Veto competition, it was do or die for Zach, and he most certainly did, eliminating each member of the AAA from the challenge one after another until only one remained. The only returnee left in the game, Rita had stayed out of the spotlight for most of the season, just keeping herself safe at all costs. Sadly for her, it all fell down to her in order to defeat the biggest threat to her entire alliance. And after a bit of time and the comp falling apart, she was barely able to edge out Zach, winning herself the Power of Veto. Less than a minute after her victory, Ariel made an official alliance with her, the Cool People, just to ensure that she saved him, which, in my opinion, is probably one of the ballsiest moves made in 2 or even 3 seasons at this point. Ariel successfully and easily convinced her to save him, forcing Simon to expose even more of the AAA's totem pole, revealing Josh as the next person on the bottom of the group. In the end, Zach's luck ran out, and he couldn't flip enough people to save himself, being voted out 3-1 with only Ariel voting to eliminate Josh, knowing that Zach would be a valuable jury vote to have on his side. Round 8. Well, also kinda round 9. That's right, it's double eviction time. At the first HOH challenge of the day, Rita won her second comp of the season and immediately turned to her Cool People alliance to figure out who she should target. Originally, she had planned on targeting Bill and using Seb as a pawn, due to Bill's threat level becoming larger and larger the closer they got to the end, and Seb likely being strong in the upcoming comps. After consulting with Ariel, who really got his money's worth out of this alliance, she decided to put up the pseudo-leaders of the AAA, Bill and Simon, as they were the biggest threats remaining. Come the power of veto, however, Rita's decision was called into question, when Seb won it and had to choose whether or not to make a move. Both nominees pled their cases, Simon trying to leverage their friendship from outside the game, a tactic that has worked multiple times for others, and Bill offering Seb something he couldn't refuse. If Seb saved Bill and they were the final two, Bill would tell the jury to vote for Seb over himself, and Bill would be loyal to Seb for the remainder of the game, bringing the Noda duo back into the spotlight. Seb made good on his promise, using the veto on Bill and forcing Rita to pick a new nominee. With her options being Josh or fellow cool person Ariel, she made the obvious and smart move, keeping her ally safe and nominating the more inactive Josh in Bill's place. With Ariel, Seb, and Bill voting, Simon's fate was in the hands of Noda, but they decided it was best for their game to save him, and in a 2-1 vote, Josh was sent packing, with Ariel, once again, voting in the minority. Heading into round 2 of the double eviction, it was the Cool People versus Noda, with Simon having ties to both Ariel and Noda. At the second HOH competition, Bill won, and he kept his alliance of 3 safe, nominating Ariel and Rita. The Cool People alliance knew that in order for both of them to stay, at least one of them needed to win POV, but Bill maintained his control over the round, winning POV and keeping his nominations the same. It was up to Seb and Simon to decide who would be eliminated, and Simon was able to convince Seb to eliminate Rita, as he and Ariel had formed an alliance earlier that day, so keeping his ally safe was his top priority. In a 2-0 vote, Rita was voted out, sealing the fate of the final returning player in the season. After this vote, Simon confirmed his allegiance to Ariel, turning his back on Seb and Bill. With only 4 players remaining in the season, it was literally anyone's game, and it all came down to comps. The Final 4 HOH was a ridiculously difficult Kahoot made by Zach, which Simon managed to win, securing himself a spot in the Final 3. Unfortunately for him, he now had to pick which of his allies would be on the block, and decided to completely flip on the Noda duo, nominating the 2 of them in order to ensure that Ariel would vote for him and or bring him to the end. This move also ensured that Noda was dead set against him, and Seb felt extremely betrayed by his friend, vowing to defeat him. At the Power of Veto challenge, Noda received a lucky break when Simon was unable to show up that day due to a vaccine appointment that he forgot to tell me about. So it was Ariel versus Noda, and Bill managed to beat both Ariel and Seb, securing himself a spot in the Final 3. It then came completely down to Bill in order to decide who would join him and Simon in the Final 3. Knowing that Seb was his close ally and that Ariel was guaranteed to win in the end, Bill made the choice to vote out Ariel, staying true to Noda and cementing himself, Simon, and Seb as the Final 3. This is it. the final 3 challenges of the season. This is a 3-part competition where the winner would become the final HOH and choose which of the other 2 they wanted to sit next to them and face the jury. The first part of the challenge was a 4x4 slide puzzle, and Bill finished it first, letting him skip the second part of the challenge and moved right on to the end. The second part of the challenge was a memory quiz, based solely on the events that happened this season, and while both Seb and Simon missed several questions, Simon managed to remember the events of the season slightly better, moving on to the final round. The final round was a chess challenge, best 2 out of 3. Bill won both rounds, securing his spot in the final 2 and giving him a chance to plead his case to the jury. He then had to make the most important decision in 2 seasons of the game, and in order to aid his choice, he wrote down his thoughts on each juror's vote and their odds of voting for him. After doing so, Bill realized that Seb would beat him likely unanimously, and based on my interactions with the jury, I can confirm this to likely be true, whereas he had a much better chance at beating Simon in the end. Not a guaranteed chance, but a better chance. In the end, Bill made the decision to eliminate Seb, despite him being Bill's closest ally for most of the second half of the game, but Big Brother is a game of lies and backstabbery. And now, our final 2 was established. The only thing they had left to do is talk to the jury. Now, before going into the details of the jury Q&A, I just want to address the matter of the 7th juror. As many of you already know, but you probably forgot because it's been so long, I'm sorry, I'm lazy. Rita was removed from the jury with her permission due to her being unable to make it to either Q&A. The solution that I came up with was that in the event the votes turned out to be a 3-3 tie, I would become the 7th member of jury and I would break the tie. But that's totally not going to happen, right? Going back in the Q&A, the jury held both finalists in some manner of contempt, due to both players breaking promises and flipping on alliances multiple times. Zach and Seb in particular were quite annoyed with both players, obviously, but after asking them several questions about their games, all jurors were satisfied. I'd love to say that both finalists play outstanding games, and I will because it is true, and I truly believe that under different circumstances, like who won different comps, any member of the Final Four could have won that jury vote. Alright, it's time to read the votes. Best of luck to both of you. You played the hell out of this game. Going in the order the jurors were eliminated. Spencer has voted for Bill. Anne has voted for Bill. Zach has voted for Simon. Josh has voted for Simon. We're tied. 2 votes Bill, 2 votes Simon. They each need 2 more to win. Ariel has voted for Simon. 3 votes Simon, 2 votes Bill. Simon needs 1 more vote to win. Seb has voted for Bill. We're tied because of course we are. 3 votes Bill, 3 votes Simon. Vote being a tie, it falls to me to decide the winner. After weighing both games, I realized one of you did something that no one has done before or since in the game of Big Brother, and that's never be eligible to receive a vote in 1 season. That person is Bill. Bill, your success in managing your threat level and your dominance in comps when you needed to win is what leads me to cast my vote for you to win. Simon, you played an incredible and explosive game. You succeeded in creating and leading 2 powerful alliances, and you deserve this win as well. But unfortunately, I can only give it to one of you, and I feel that Bill played a more flawless game. I really hope that you'll come back to play another time, just like Bill did, and this time I'm confident you can win. So, until next time, my name is Jonathan. I'm your host. Thank you to everyone for an incredible season, and I'll see you in the next one, which will probably not happen for a while, probably going to be a Season 4 video. Season 3 was awesome. I'll do something for it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Share the video if you like. If you want to play in Season 4, let me know. We're always looking for new players. Peace.